Hey everybody, this is Derek Scarzel with Action A Go Go. Just wanted to give a brief introduction to my interview with Craig Schulz, son of legendary Charles Schulz of the Peanuts and Charlie Brown fame, as well as Erik Wiese, who worked on SpongeBob for a long time before working on what we're going to discuss today, Snoopy Presents, a summer musical, available August 15th on Apple TV. Please enjoy. It was very fun talking to them. It was an honor. And feel free to check out this musical with your kids if you're watching this, hopefully, on August 15th on Apple TV. Thank you. Craig, Eric, welcome to Action A Go Go.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks for having us.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Very unique opportunity getting to watch the first Snoopy Peanuts musical in 35 years. Is that correct?
I like to think it's the first musical ever. The other one was based on a stage musical, so I mean, this one is new from the ground up. It has elements in it that have never been done in the Peanuts world before, and yet it honors my dad's legacy. So I'm very, very proud of it. Proud of it.
Yeah, and what a legacy that is. What made you guys decide on this incarnation, this summer camp story?
Well, mainly because I because I watched a lot of musicals in my home theater, which I'm sitting in right now, and I was inspired by by watching the musicals. I've inspired by picturing what the Peanuts characters could do within a musical, and I brought it up with Brian and Neil. I said, "Hey, why don't we write a musical?" Apple heard about it, and they were thrilled with us even taking that leap of faith of doing a musical. So then it just kind of took off in wildfire. We got Eric on board and the animators, and then we brought in Ben Folds and Jeff, and everybody was thrilled to take on the challenge.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Eric, they did rope you into this. What made you want to jump on this? What made you want to participate?
I mean, come on, it's the Peanuts. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? It's a world that I grew up with, and I love these characters, and to be given the opportunity and the chance, it was an honor and a privilege. And but the other thing too, it's a lot of stress because you know, as a fan, you want to make sure that you make good on this project. The fans are also going to go, yes, that's a Peanuts special, but also advance it and take it to the next place. So especially, being a musical, we're going into some new territory, and so that's what it was like.
No, that's totally understandable. I mean, I was just perusing the internet and I saw some Peanuts memes pop up. So, it's incredible, legacy and impact on the culture overall. But the story centers on the kids working to save a summer camp. Why a summer camp? What was so special about that setting that you wanted to bring to the table?
Well, that was just simply a metaphor for what's going on in the world today. As we started the project, I told my son, being a pilot, I said, in LA used to have 25 airports. Now they're down to like 5. I said, your school used to have auto shop, wood shop, metal shop, band. That's all gone now. The stuff is gone. So I think it's for, this generation has to pass on to the new generation what they've lost and what they think they're about to lose and try to hang on to it. And that's the bigger message. So in all the stories we did at Snoopy Presents, we really had the theme to inspire kids, the future generation, to take on these challenges.
Excellent, excellent. And what about your challenges in terms of, adapting Snoopy and Peanuts for modern audiences, right? New eyes, fresh eyes. What challenges do you face there, or what adventures do you like to embark on along the way when creating these things?
Well,
You know, uh, Go ahead, Craig.
I was gonna say, I asked myself the question, if I was a viewer and a lover of Peanuts, what would I want to know? That's my first thought that crosses my mind. And I want to know more about the characters. That is why we did specials based on Franklin and Marcy and the one on Lucy in school and the love letter to teachers. Those are things I think not only inspire kids to watch them because they can relate to those, but I think it also from a Peanuts fan, you get to learn more about the characters that you would never get out of the comic strip because my dad obviously didn't have the time to inject those little sub stories that we have the flexibility to do.
Hmm.
So that's what makes it fun and that's what makes it challenging.
And just really quickly, from a filmmaker's point of view, it was really about staying true to, what we love about Peanuts. We never changed the characters and their, delivery. Are they going to be like talking really fast? Are they going to be zany and loud? Like, no, like that's also why we love these specials. Is there's a certain kind of tone and pacing that is, Peanuts. So we were trying to stay true to that.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I enjoyed it. So you've got a new fan here, so to speak, or maybe a happy fan, so to speak. Now, what about the music in this musical? It's very good. It's very charming, very heartwarming. What was it like working with Ben Folds and Jeff Marrow?
I mean, it was magic. It's such a privilege too. I think they're both incredibly talented people. Working with Ben, to be able to sit down and go over the script and also to show him the drawings and say, this is what needs to happen in this sequence, and every song needs to be, forward the story. And we would have this dialogue, this back and forth. He would send me some songs on my iPhone, and it was magical. The other thing too I want to mention too is that we also have two songs by Alan Zachary and Michael Wyman, and it's they also gave us some incredible music as well. That was such a privilege, and it really helped inform the visuals, and also at times change some of the things in the story, and it all happened for the best.
Excellent, Craig. Anything you want to add in on that?
Well, no, I wasn't really that that hands-on with the musical part. We used Ben Folds in one of our earlier specials called "It's the Small Things, Charlie Brown," where Sally has a dandelion on the mountain she's trying to protect, and Ben wrote a song for that that was a tremendous success. Um, so when we brought him on board, felt very, very confident he could handle a musical. And between Jeff Morrow and Alan and Michael, we were in good hands, all the way around.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let's talk about Snoopy for a minute and that character, and maybe Eric, maybe you could talk about this challenge a bit. It's a character that doesn't speak, but you need to get a lot across with his storytelling. How do you approach working with a character like Snoopy, and his legacy and whatnot?
For a lot of us who've had a dog, a real dog, they communicate with you, and you kind of know what they're saying. But also, we have a history of movies that, like Star Wars has R2D2, and they can sort of emote something. You kind of get an idea of what they're doing. Same thing with Minions. Snoopy was the first Minions. We kind of understand what it is that he's saying, and of course, with animation, there's a lot of pantomime that comes along with that, and I also think that's what makes it universal. It's not just one language; it's Snoopy's language, and everybody understands it. So it's I wouldn't say it was a challenge. It was just so much fun to be able to do the Snoopy voice.
Awesome, awesome. And final question, then we can wrap up. It's been decades of Peanuts movies and whatnot. What continues to inspire you or surprise you about this legacy? What has made you scratch your head along the way while continuing to work on these stories? Craig, and you as well, Eric. What your surprises may be along the way?
Well, I'm surprised. I'm surprised and yet not surprised every day with the love for these characters. I didn't realize that when I was doing my regular job flying airplanes, but as I took the reins of our business, and I got to meet these people from all over the world. We just had the Peanuts Collectors Club in town in Santa Rosa, 280 people, 90 new members, and their love for the brand and everything it just astonishes me. And I'm sure it made my dad extremely proud. It makes me proud to be associated with it. And I take it as a privilege to be able to work with these new kids in the way the way I get to do. Because had I not been his son, I wouldn't have had the honor of doing this. So I take it with great respect and great honor.
Okay, Eric, how about yourself?
Uh, could you tell me the question again? Because I was so into what he was saying.
Sure, sure. What surprises you about the Charles Schulz Peanuts legacy after all these years?
I mean that it's resonated that many years. I think that as we get older and we start to read Charlie, what Charlie Brown is saying, he speaks to us. He's dealing with all of life's issues comically, and we see ourselves in that. And I think that that's why it's stands the test of time.
Yeah, it's funny when, if you go back to Charlie Brown Christmas, they had the final cut of Charlie Brown Christmas done, and they were in Bill Melendez's studio, and all the animators were standing around looking at it, and they watched the reels, and Bill Melendez looks up and he says, "We've ruined Peanuts." And
Mm.
then one guy in the back of the room who was drinking steps up and says, "This show will run for 90 years." And guess who was right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, our time is short. Like I said, we do need to end it there. Craig, Eric, thank you so much. Fantastic work. It's an honor talking to both of you. I hope you have a great rest of your journey this week and with the show.
Thank you, Derek.
So much. Pleasure talking to you.
This is Derek Scarzella. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching or enduring. If you're feeling generous or even just mildly entertained, please like, subscribe, and comment to support the channel. I know you've got opinions. Don't even try to deny it. Drop them in the comments. Argue with me. Argue with each other. You are officially invited to engage in glorious internet combat. You can also find me on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Instagram's awkward little brother, and the granddaddy of them all, Facebook. Oh, and while I've still got your attention, my novels The Vicious Game and Knuckle Crack Bone are up on Amazon. They're unapologetically gritty, punch-you-in-the-face crime stories with rave reviews. If you give them a shot, I'd be honored. Thank you again for watching. Rest well, hero. You're home.